Welcome to the Recommended Daily Value Podcast, your daily dose into the health and wellness world.
Welcome back to the Recommended Daily Value Podcast, where we dive into everything health, fitness, and nutrition related 5 days a week in 5 minutes or less. This podcast is brought to you by Umzu, and I'm your host, Tyler Woodward. Today is the last day of the Boosting Your Testosterone series, and today we're talking about supplements. Talking about supplements last is very fitting, as supplements are truly the icing on the cake when it comes to testosterone production. They're not going to make or break everything else we've discussed in the series, but they can definitely boost you up quite a few points, or maybe help compensate for areas you're missing in. Without a doubt, the most valuable supplements for boosting your testosterone are the ones that are correcting any underlying nutrient deficiencies. We spoke about this in the nutrition episode, but if you're deficient in zinc or magnesium, this will pretty reliably tank your testosterone production. I'm always a food-first advocate, but some supplemental zinc or magnesium can definitely help to correct your deficiency, which can potentially result in significantly higher testosterone production. Zinc is also needed to help prevent the aromatization of excess testosterone into estrogen, so you can hold on to the testosterone that you are producing better. I would also throw boron into this category. Boron is another trace mineral that is found in trace amounts in lots of food, but due to modern agricultural practices, soil degradation, and overfarming, many of us may not be getting enough boron today. There's a number of studies that show correcting a boron deficiency increases testosterone levels, but boron is more reliably known to increase free testosterone by lowering SHBG. SHBG, or sex hormone binding globulin, is a protein that binds to testosterone and prevents your cells from absorbing and utilizing it. So boron, in some sense, can allow you to get more out of your testosterone, making it more efficient in some sense. Boron also plays a role in magnesium absorption and retention, so it may increase the effectiveness of your magnesium supplement. As far as nutrients go, we can't forget about good old vitamin D. While I don't think a vitamin D supplement is quite the same as getting some vitamin D the all-natural way through sun exposure, it might be a close second. Vitamin D is similar to testosterone in that it's actually considered a secosteroid, while testosterone is a true steroid molecule. Low vitamin D levels have been repeatedly found to be correlated with low testosterone levels. Ironically, vitamin D is also interrelated with both zinc and magnesium in their usage and retention. Magnesium specifically is required to activate vitamin D. There's a decent amount of research showing that correcting a vitamin D deficiency in vitamin D deficient individuals can increase testosterone production. There's also some evidence that sun exposure increases both vitamin D and testosterone. Either way, vitamin D seems to be very important in maintaining optimal testosterone levels, and for those who don't get much sun for huge portions of the year, it may be worth supplementing with vitamin D, or at least having your vitamin D levels assessed. That about wraps it up in terms of supplements for correcting nutrient deficiencies. Now onto the fun stuff. You've probably all heard of Andrew Huberman's recommendations of Tongkat Ali and Fedosia agrestis, which are two pretty cool herbs that seem to be able to boost testosterone production. I won't go deep into these because you've likely heard about them from him, and there's some other cool ones we can cover. So here's some other pretty cool supplements that you can try that have some pretty good evidence for boosting testosterone and or DHT. My favorite supplement, which I recently started supplementing with again, is Shilajit. Shilajit is basically a fossilized plant that decomposes into rocks in high mountain regions. Shilajit is very rich in fulvic acid and a number of other trace minerals. I've been taking it midday or pre-workout for a nice boost in focus and energy. One study on Shilajit supplementation found that the administration of 250 milligrams for 90 days significantly elevated total and free testosterone and DHEA. One of the better studied supplements for increasing testosterone levels is ashwagandha. One study found that ashwagandha increased testosterone levels by an average of 14.7% and DHEA by 18%. Ashwagandha is also able to potently lower cortisol levels, with 3 studies finding that ashwagandha lowered cortisol levels between 14.5 to 27.9%. Cortisol is an antagonist to testosterone, so by lowering cortisol, this may allow your testosterone levels to increase or at least remain steady for a longer period of time. Next up, we got some speculative T-boosting supplements, starting with vitamin E. Commonly referred to as the fertility vitamin, vitamin E is one of the body's main antioxidants. As we mentioned earlier in the series, the testes are very prone to oxidative stress, which impairs their ability to function. There's not a lot of research for its effectiveness in humans, but there's a lot of solid evidence for its vitamin E's effectiveness in rodents. I think this would also fall into the category of nutrient deficiency supplements, as in it will make a big difference if your diet is currently lacking vitamin E. And I think many people are deficient in vitamin E due to polyunsaturated fats depleting vitamin E stores, and we all know most of us have been eating too many PUFAs. Now we've got a few honorable mentions. This is a controversial one, but we're starting right off the bat with nicotine. While nicotine doesn't directly increase testosterone, there's a solid amount of evidence for its ability to increase DHT levels while decreasing estrogen. This implies that nicotine is decreasing the amount of testosterone that's being converted to estrogen through aromatization, while preserving the androgenic activity by converting more of it to DHT. My preferred method of taking in nicotine would be something like a nicotine toothpick or using a brand like Transcriptions. One of the supplements with a little bit less research, but is still promising, is forskolin, or Soleus forskolii. Soleus forskolii is a type of herb that has one human study finding a slight increase in testosterone and a number of rodent studies showing boosts in testosterone levels. Last, but certainly not least, we've got creatine. Creatine also increases DHT, although slightly, but it is one of, if not the best supplement you can take for increasing muscle growth, which we know is probably one of the best things you can do to support testosterone synthesis overall. Well, that's it for this episode, so remember to try out some of these supplements and let me know if you feel that they are effective. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and share with a friend. And remember, these opinions are my own, based on my own research and experiences, and is not medical advice. Till next time, be good.